here every week is the difference between gurus and sages. When do you need a guru and when do you need a sage? What's the difference? Why does it matter? And how can you get the kind of information and support you need to make an impact on your life? I've been doing this with Gail Kraft, and I'm going to take this one solo, and Gail and I are going to be doing some things together that are a little bit different because I like to get the audience involved in this. What we're really trying to do here is we're trying to set up our life in a way that will allow us to get what we really want. And isn't that all you want? You just want to get what you want. Do you really want to do all of this work that you're doing and striving and hustling and making it happen as an entrepreneur? I'm not saying you don't use willpower. I'm not saying you don't need tenacity. I'm not saying that you don't have to do hard things. That's just confusion. When people think it's possible to live your life in a state of flow where opportunities are coming toward you and you're taking advantage of them based on learning who you are and how to take advantage of systems that already exist. It's easier than you think. And we actually don't have to work that hard. Hard. What does hard mean? Hard means striving and struggling and suffering. Do we have to do things that we really, really don't want to do? Yes, all the time. Do you want to do them? Yes, all the time. That's confusing. So we have to redefine the term hard. Everything we were taught is wrong, including our definition of the word hard as far as entrepreneurs go. This show is about how to become a top 1% entrepreneur, measured by things that can't be measured. So people look at this and say, well, how can you be a top 1% entrepreneur? I've never heard of you. Here's how. You don't get to decide. Why can't you decide? Why can't we have measurable criteria that allow us to decide? Because there's things in life that can't be measured. What matters? The things that can be measured or the things that can't be measured? I'll let you decide that one. I've already made my decision. My life and what I offer you in terms of ideas that may be helpful for you is to think of it this way. Think of a triangle. What's at the top of the triangle? What's the most important thing in life? It's freedom. What's at the bottom right? Well, I think I'm backwards here, but you'll get the point. What's at the bottom right? Satisfaction. Job well done. We want that too, right? What's at the bottom left? Happiness. We all want that. There's two ways to exist in this world. The triangle life of an entrepreneur and the ordinary plane of existence that most of us are living in. Or the magical triangle in the plane of existence that those of us who get everything that we want in life without suffering to get it reach. Of course, there's levels and gradations to all of these things. There's no absolutes. But this is two very, very different ways of showing up in the world. So how are they different? Well, let's start with an analogy. So, think of a town. What's going on in a town? Well, you got people. You got a library, maybe. You got, maybe not anymore. You got buildings. You got a power plant. You got restaurants. You got homes. You got people. Things you can experience. You can use your senses. You can become aware of and connected to things that can be measured in that town, because what is in the town exists. You can experience it. Now let's go bigger. What's around the town? Well, we have a universe or multiple universes. We have galaxies, we have planets, we have atmospheres, we have physics, we have nature. Can we measure those things? Yes. Yes, we can. Can we understand them? Yes, sort of. We have a level of ability to understand them through using our mind. This plane of experience can be, in a way, seen through instrumentation or through direct experience through the senses. This is the world in which most of us live. Is that it? So ask yourself this question. Is this world in which you live your life real? Is it the only world that exists? Or is there anything else going on here? If you are absolutely convinced that this is it, I have nothing to offer you. You're in the wrong place. If you have a hint of a doubt or a feeling of inspiration, thinking about things that you have not yet experienced, you're in the right place. If you are beginning to have profound experiences in what I'm going to call the world around the town that supports it, town including universes, natural laws, everything, you're in the right place because there are levels of experience, lenses by which we view the world. And as we open them, we experience more of it. And here's the key thing. We experience more of what cannot be measured. What is the secret of life? To experience more of what can't be measured. What is a top 1% entrepreneur? Think about this magical world that I'm going to describe to you in a minute. The triangle that you have the opportunity to exist in, to become a top 1% entrepreneur and get everything that you've ever wanted in your life, is available to everyone. There are only two things holding us back from getting there. I'm going to describe the triangle first. What is freedom? What is satisfaction? What is happiness? For those of us who construct the life that we want as an entrepreneur, the experience of freedom, satisfaction, and happiness without conditions of any kind is our definition of success. Top 1% entrepreneurs are living in that plane. That's how I measure it. Can this be measured? No. Can it be experienced internally? Yes. What happens when you experience this internally? What you have constructed as a reality, as a vision, as a ideal life and business that comes from a deep emotional connection to yourself and what surrounds this town happens. Do you have to force it to happen? No. Do you have to do incredibly hard things that test your resolve, that ask you to go through emotions that you did not think you could handle, that confront you and your belief systems, where you realize that everything that you were taught is wrong. That is hard to give up. That is the barrier, one of them, between life in the ordinary world only and life in the magic triangle, where entrepreneurial success is measured by not needing anything, needing nothing to be free inside. Satisfaction without needing a result of any kind. Happiness when the relationships around you are in total chaos and you don't have the family, the friends, or the support that you want. It's possible to construct a business and a life as an entrepreneur without conditions. When you live in the ordinary world with conditions, what could happen? What conditions your freedom? For entrepreneurs, the idea is money. If I have enough money, I can be free. I will do everything I always wanted once I make enough money with this business. That's a condition you put on your freedom. That's not freedom. That's condition freedom. Satisfaction. If I can just do what I love, if I could just figure out what my passion is and my purpose and my mission and my why, if I could just find my why, I'll feel satisfied. That is conditional satisfaction. It requires you to have something, to be okay and feel satisfied. That's not top 1% entrepreneurs. I'm talking about it. Starting to notice that I don't care about rankings. We can't rank these things. We can only know where we are and where others are, honestly, and live in truth, not illusion. Freedom, happiness. Happiness. I'm happy when I have work-life balance. That's not happiness without conditions. What if you can't have work-life balance because you're called to do something that doesn't allow you to have work-life balance? But that's what you're supposed to be doing in this world, and there's a reason for it. Then your happiness has a condition on it. We can have happiness without conditions. Now you have a choice, and I'm going to explain the choice, and then I'm going to explain how the real world works and how it interacts with our world of experience, which exists but is not real. Everything we were taught is wrong. Think about where you are. Think about how you experience life. Are you not successfully able to make enough money to have freedom in experience? In other words, conditional freedom. Be honest. Is that true? It's fine. There's no right answer. You need to know where you are to make improvement, and you need to know what to do. And we're going to get into that in a minute of what you can do. And this is the whole idea of gurus and sages. You need to know when you need a guru, and you need to know when you need a sage. And this is where a lot of the confusion is coming in. Do you feel that you have not been able to create a business that is successful and fits your own personal desires in terms of what you like to do and what you're good at? So on the satisfaction front, where are you on that scale of, I haven't even started yet, I still have a corporate job, all the way up to, I know this is my place. Conditional satisfaction. So in other words, How far along are you on conditional satisfaction? How far are you along? Think of the triangle again, ordinary world triangle, on conditional freedom. And then do the same with happiness. Are the conditions in your life conditions that allow you to feel happy? Now, if they're removed, you won't feel happy. But living in this experience, it means it's important that you are able to construct a life in the town that gives you a feeling of happiness. This all can be measured. I'm not saying any of this isn't important. I'm just saying it doesn't matter. That's very confusing. And I'm going to explain more about that as we get into gurus and sages. For many of us, the ordinary world triangle is where we need to put our attention. We need gurus, not sage wisdom. Sage wisdom will be helpful. There will be moments where sage wisdom will be the only way to move towards getting everything you've always wanted. There will be other moments where it will be a distraction and will not be helpful. Constructing a life and a business that works within this world that we can experience is important. This world exists. It's just not real. It exists for a purpose. And that's what I'm going to get into next. What surrounds the town? We create beliefs to explain this to us that we call God, we call whatever we call it, spirit, energy. These are beliefs. These are ways of explaining things that we can't understand to ourselves. In other words, notions, ideas, concepts, learnings that help us in our mind, which exists in this plane of existence only. Well, that's not true. Exists in this plane of existence primarily in your awareness. And that circle of thought and understanding is certainly valuable, of recognizing, okay, I get myself, I get what it's like to be here. As you understand how reality works, you will recognize that belief systems about God and religion and anything keep you away from accessing its potential and being able to use the wisdom, universal wisdom that flows from it, and bring that into your experience through you, inside you, and out through thought and then action to make an impact in this world. This is what we want. This is what matters. Everything else is important. This is what matters. So how does this work? You are two separated selves. Our true self has been around for a very long time. It's not going anywhere, and it will never go anywhere. It's what it is. Your self, and let's call that self with a capital S, true self. Your self of experience, we'll just call it small s self, is the self that you spend most of your awareness paying attention to. Everything we were taught is wrong. We believe things about our life that are not true. Here's 3 important ones. 1, we believe that our self of experience knows what it wants. It does not. By design, it does not know what it wants until you discover what the true self wants and connect into that knowledge. It's very difficult to know fully what the self of experience wants. The second thing that goes on for us is that we are mired in our beliefs. This is called conviction. This is called values. I'm not saying values aren't important. I'm saying they don't matter. Principles matter. Values are useful to help you navigate relationships and decisions in this world until they become beliefs. And then they keep you from getting everything that you've always wanted. The third thing is what I'll call baggage. So, you're with somebody and they're like, wow, you got a lot of baggage. You do. If you have imposter syndrome, it's because you're an imposter. It's not because you have a problem that needs to be solved. You have a state of being ready to elevate. It's an opportunity. The feeling of imposter syndrome is one of the biggest opportunities that can possibly be given to you. And we're squandering it by trying not to have imposter syndrome. We'll get more into that in other videos and shows. The baggage that you carry, I'm going to call burdens. We have burden patterns that have been with us longer than we know. Those burden patterns block our perfectly tuned system from functioning properly. The beliefs and the burden patterns are what keeps us from accessing everything that supports the town. There are access points everywhere and opportunities everywhere, every day, all the time, every second, right in front of your face. The more you believe firmly in conviction that you know what's true and how life works when you don't, the more you try to manage your patterns of burden, the further away you get from getting everything that you've always wanted and becoming a top 1% entrepreneur. What do we do about this? I'm going to give you 5 things that you can do right away. Anybody can do it. Oh, by the way, it's not only free, it's simple. Everything is simple. Why? The real world that supports and created this town, this existence that we live in, knows everything and is involved in everything. It is extraordinarily complex beyond comprehension. Guess what? You don't need to know how it works. What do you need? To experience it directly. The only way to find your true self, gain access to universal wisdom, and get everything you've always wanted in your life is to get direct access to what created and supports this town. You will get it in your own way. Think about this as the road less traveled. The road less traveled is the road inside. That's it. There's a secret branch of the road less traveled that you cannot find. This is the top 1% entrepreneur branch. This branch comes to you when you're ready, and it includes what I'll call a gateless gate. When that gateless gate appears, you will be asked to give up something. You will be asked to give up a burden pattern, unravel a burden pattern, or give up a belief that you hold as a conviction. It is the price for access to the gateless gate, to walk through the gateless gate. When you walk through the gateless gate, you will be existing in another world. You will see things differently. This is called evolutionary progress. That's available to all of us, regardless of the state we're in. We all have the opportunity to move through this. The experience of it and the level of it depends on where we are. There is no judgment of any of this. Everything is perfect exactly as it is. There is nothing wrong. There are no problems to be solved. All we have to do is gain access to this universal wisdom. Is that it? No. There's a price. What's the price? You have to recognize that you're not in charge. That is the price. How do you begin to do this? 3 years ago, September 20th, 2020, at 5 o'clock in the morning, I woke up to a blinking clock, blinking at me, white, saying, get up now, do this every day and change your life. That was it. I did it. It has been a wild ride. I have never had any idea what was going on until I was able to look backwards and connect all the dots yesterday. You see pieces of it. When you see all of it, you see all of it. That's how it works. So what did I do every day? It changed. Where did it end up? 5 things. 1, you must be by yourself. Do not meditate. Don't do anything. Don't meditate. Meditate will block you from being successful. It has another purpose. Ask yourself what's going on and listen to what's going on inside. You're going to get feelings coming up. Feel those feelings as deeply as possible and don't try to figure them out or block them. You will be told to do things. Do those things. Third, think about your vision. What does your business look like that you always wanted? Dream big. It's unlimited. You can get everything that you want in this lifetime because the things you want are the things that you are supposed to get. And there's reasons for that I can't get into now. As you visualize, charge it up with emotion and consistency. Know what you want. Know what you think you want. That's enough. You will begin to discover what you really want over time. Fourth, allow the part of yourself that knows everything to take charge. No more sabotaging brain and sage brain at this level. That's helpful in the world of experience, but it will not allow you to connect into this wisdom. In other words, it doesn't matter, but it's important. And then finally, step 4, ask that part of yourself that knows everything what to do. And it will begin to set in motion a pathway for you. 5, ask that part of yourself that knows everything specifically during the day what it wants you to do. and you will get an answer. And if you do those things, you have the opportunity to get everything that you've ever wanted in your life and become a top 1% entrepreneur.